It's Wednesday, the 14th of March 2018, and welcome to Navigating Your Day. In Jinshin Jitsu, safety energy lock number 14 came into the universe meaning sustenance, equilibrium. So my understanding of this is that safety energy lock number 14, which is located in the waist on either side, actually sort of midway along the ribs on either side of the midline, it connects, it's over the major digestive organs. So it is where we are able to sustain ourselves from. So we sustain ourselves primarily from the food we eat, the air we breathe, and the liquid that we drink. And safety energy lock number 14 helps us to metabolize all those elements so that we can sustain ourselves and we can maintain balance and harmony within our systems. It also, because it's in the waistline, it also is the balancer of the upper body, the waistline up, the waist, the chest, the head, and the lower body, below the waist, those elimination organs, the reproductive organs, the legs, the hips, the knees, the feet. So it keeps the upper part of our body and the lower part of our body in balance. It also keeps our higher self, or our soul, and our lower self, or our ego, in balance. It also balances heaven, which is outside of us, and earth, we are a physical manifestation of that, and keeps that in balance. And so when all those areas of our lives are being cared for, then we increase our ability to sustain ourselves effectively and to maintain equilibrium and balance in our lives. So today we have the opportunity to connect to and resonate with this sense of sustenance and balance. What do I need to sustain myself? What is it that I require in my life so that I can have equilibrium? Equilibrium and balance are slightly different. I don't know. I think of balance as sort of, balance has the sort of, what's the word? It has the implication that everything is so if you have a balanced life, or if you have work-life balance, it means that you don't overwork and you don't feel guilty about not being at home, or you're not too much at home and not enough at work, or whatever the case may be, or you balance your life. I don't know about that. I think equilibrium means that we have a state of being able to get ourselves back to our center more effectively. So you cannot necessarily, my belief, unless you're some sort of enlightened being, operate from a sense of perfect equilibrium 24/7. Maybe it's possible, I just don't know how. But you can actually make sure that the polarity that you swing in is smaller and smaller and smaller. So of course life is going to knock you off your pedestal, and things are going to happen that are going to throw you, good things and bad things, or that you judge as good and bad. But when you are more effectively, when you're more in touch with what you require to nurture and sustain yourself, then you will be able to bring yourself back to equilibrium much quicker, or much more effortlessly, shall we say. All right, so that's the energy that we can connect with today. 14 is, of course, a 5, and 5 is about adaptation. It's about adapting to change. It's about dealing with our stress. It is also the analyzer and the inventor. 5 is a very analytical number. It's very much in the head. It can be extremely critical of itself and others. It can't let mistakes go. So be aware today that you might actually find yourself becoming slightly hypercritical, primarily about yourself or of other people. Just keep that in your awareness. And if it's in your awareness, then you'll be able to manage it, and you won't react. You'd rather respond, which might be more appropriate. We've of course got the 3 of March, which is a fire number. 5 is an air number, by the way, which is a fire number. So we've got fire and air right next to each other, which creates some volatility. The air fans the fire. So the benefit of that is that when we have this inventiveness and this quick thinking and the analysis, then we can actually feed the creativity of the 3. The creativity of the 3 that wants to expand into new areas, that wants to grow, that wants to move into new goals, that wants to set new personal goals, that wants to set personal development goals, that wants to set business goals or goals for your family. The 5 helps to fan the creativity of the 3, and the 3 is the one that can then put the strategy in place of how to get there. So it's a great combination. The downside is that when you have the air and the fire together, they fan each other, and when they become reactive, when the 5 becomes overburdened, over analytical, stressed because of all this analysis, then the 3 can start shutting down, become dictatorial, want everyone to do it their way, start becoming frustrated because other people can't see the goal, and they're not connecting to where it is that we're going, for example, if you're working with a team or a family or something like that. So you might end up becoming very impatient, critical, overwhelmed, stressed, anxious, and maybe like a bit bossy and dictatorial today. So you've got to bear those 2 things in mind. Luckily, we've got the 2 of 2018, which is a water number, and the water brings a bit of stability and balance to that air and that fire, and the 2 is about nurturing. So 14 is about sustenance. What do I need to sustain myself? And I think 2 takes it just a little bit further. It's like, what do I need to nurture myself, to feel nurtured, cared for? It's beyond love, actually. So it's on all levels, nurtured physically, spiritually, emotionally, mentally. What do I need to do that? Because when you can appreciate what is required for that, then your ability to sustain yourself increases, and of course then that ability to maintain the equilibrium also becomes somewhat easier. The hero today is the 1. 1 is another air number, and 1 is I am enough. Here I am. Boom, baby. I am the one. All right. So, and I don't mean that in an egotistical way, not like I'm the bomb and you're just, I don't know, not worth anything. It's that I am complete as I am. I am enough as I am. I am worth being here. I do have a voice. I am worth caring for myself. This is not so much about being validated by outside, by outside circumstances or events or people. It's about self-validation. So we have the opportunity to actually connect to and nurture and sustain ourselves so that we can be enough. And that is the gift of the 1. The lesson today, or the villain today, is the 6. And 6 in the villain position means that we have a lack of balance. Interesting. So 14 is about equilibrium, and 6 in the lesson is about not being able to maintain the balance. So you might find yourself working too hard, playing too hard, exercising too hard, trying too hard, being too critical, too much of, all right? Because there is no balance and there's no discrimination. So 6 in the villain position makes us lose our discrimination. So now it's all good and well. You're going to sustain yourself, you're going to nurture yourself, you're going to set goals, but you have to be finely discriminative. In other words, does this really serve me? Maybe it serves someone else, but it doesn't serve me. Is this really what I want? Maybe it's not. Maybe this is actually not my goal. Maybe this is someone else's goal. Just be aware that if you start asking those questions, the 5 can go into complete analysis paralysis, right? So just bear in mind that the 6 is going to make you possibly function in extremes. The 5 might make you very anxious. The 3 might make you quite volatile. The 2 may make you quite emotional. The 1 is there to bring it all together so that you can actually realize that you are enough. It will get done. If it doesn't get done today, tomorrow's another day. You'll be okay. Of course, to help you along your way, you can hold your ring finger, because your ring finger is where safety energy lock number 14 is represented. And holding the ring finger harmonizes the lung and large intestine organ function energy. It helps you to let go and release. It helps to harmonize deep sadness and grief. And it helps to harmonize safety energy lock number 14 so that you can sustain yourself and maintain that balance. You can also work on safety energy lock number 14 by holding safety energy lock number 19, and that's on the elbow. So you might not be able to see, but remember yesterday we held the upper arms. Okay, so today it's lower, it's on the actual elbow. So sit with your arms crossed, hands over your elbows. That is opening safety energy lock number 19, which opens 14 and a number of others. But when you hold 19, it helps to open and sustain 14. And 19 is about authority and leadership. So if you're holding 19, it's a 1, remember, you actually are helping to connect to that energy of the hero today, which will help you sustain yourself and not go into those extremes. That is the danger of the 6 in the villain. I hope you have an amazing day, and I'll speak to you again tomorrow.